kind of a tale of two halves. So not very good in the first half, a lot better in the second half.
What was Mike, was it something that you changed or anything, or you guys just picked up?
We started doing our, we're getting disoriented, guys out of gaps. They were giving us a lot of different, formations and looks, and just didn't have guys in the right spots, and nothing out of the ordinary that they don't do. It's a lot of things we repped. Just gave us a lot of different looks and kept us off balance. Didn't execute some blitzes right. I thought we had some good calls early, missed a tackle on two guys that are scot-free. So just weren't sharp early in the first half.
Like you said, there were times when Kenneth would get in the backfield and just not get the tackle. But as the game went along, you had Neville, you had Obo, you had Kenneth. Were guys just kind of finding their feet a little bit and growing a little bit?
Yeah, just started executing better. Just weren't very alert early and not very sharp, and that's what happens, especially against a team like that. I thought they played well in the first half and executed what they wanted to do, and their plan, was good, and that's a tough offense to defend.
The way Parnell's playing at that point back spot for you guys has not only been dynamic, but seems like he's been pretty solid. How has he helped to change what the other 10 guys can do on the field just with his play throughout the first 3 weeks?
Well, I just think you see the results of another playmaker on the field. You have to have playmakers and dynamic players. Everyone can't be perfect all the time and run the perfect. Some guys have to make plays, and Parnell's a playmaker, and that's you're starting to see that, and we desperately need playmakers, especially out on the edge, and that gives us encouraging hope as we move forward.
You guys got a boost of confidence, I'm sure, from that pick six, but does that inspire guys to tackle better and be in their gap better and stuff, because it really changed the game?
Well, we weren't as sharp as we needed to be. That was obvious, and for whatever reason, obviously last week had a lot to do with it. But our preparation was good. All week. It wasn't any options we didn't see or any reads that we didn't work on. And I don't know. Just again, if you're a little off against a team that runs the ball as well as they do, then they're going to cause you some issues. And to me, the tackling out of position was probably the most disheartening part of it. But our guys regrouped. Really proud of the way they came back in the second half and were able to gain control of it.
It seemed like
did Houghton playing last week really just kind of help settle you there, knowing that you didn't have your top two guys?
Well, guys, the next guy's got to step up, and whether Will or Robert are back next week, I don't know, but somebody's got to step up. We're starting to get thin at the safety position, but I thought Khalil did some good things.
It seemed like Obo and Gallimore really stepped up, took over the game for you in the second half.
Well, yeah, I thought Obo played much better the second half. He didn't have one of his better first halves, but really came back and had some production for us in the second half.
Gallimore seemed like he was.
And Neville's, we need Neville. That's another guy that's got to be a playmaker for us up front, and we need his size, his strength, he's got ability, and he just needs to continue to move forward and be disruptive up front.
Lincoln said that Kingsbury's dealt with 3 different offenses. How big will this September help him in the future?
It's all hard. It's difficult. The stuff we see. There's a lot of read plays. There's a lot of stuff. College, you get all these formations. You get 8 guys on one side, 5 on the other. I mean, it's just stuff you have to deal with, and it's more mental than it is physical with him. And once he's able to see it all, then he'll settle in, and the game will start to come easier for him.
I'm sure you guys go through, you get into halftime, there's a lot of frustration, emotions. But when you come out, you just gave up 8 total yards of offense to them in the third quarter. How much of that can be a teaching moment for these guys?
Well, it's a big. You got to handle prosperity, well too, and people tell you how great you are all the time for a week straight, and then again you got to block out the noise. It's a week to week season, and you got to be smart enough to realize that. And we still got to go out and execute. If you're not, you got to be able to play and be disciplined, and we we didn't have the focus early on, but we gained it as the game goes on, and sometimes that game wears on you once you see it a little bit, the speed, because you can't replicate it in practice. But our guys adjusted to it, and that's a credit to them.
Mike Lincoln was saying earlier in the week he could sense your guys were still kind of sluggish. And can you force that along, or you just pray to God they figure it out?
You just pray your preparation is good, and that's what it is. You can't, for whatever reason they're gonna, I'm not gonna coach to speak. You can't play that way every week. That's just not. It's just not possible. And but you got to be good enough, and that's where your preparation, meets the opponent and being able to execute the game plan. And you got to be better, and you got to make enough plays to win. And so that was that game, plays on you mentally and physically. That was a very emotional game, and that can wear on you. And it was physical. We got back late. It was a late night. I mean, it's just there's a lot of things, but. It was a little bit of a struggle getting them up this week, but we were able to execute good enough on both sides of the ball to to distance ourselves from that team.
Mike, who was the scout team quarterback that gave you the look this week?
Kendall, our normal guy. I mean, again, you just can't replicate that speed.
Mike, you've had 2 games now where you've been able to put in freshmen largely all over the field, and they've held the other team. You haven't had that often. You haven't run into.
That's always the good part of playing and winning is playing a lot of guys. We have to develop players in this program who keep moving forward, and we're able to do that 2 out of the 3 games, and that's always good to play. They work hard, and they deserve an opportunity to play, and thought they do some good things.
You must be in a much better place going into the conference this year than you were last. I remember talking to you last year at this time, and
yeah,
sort
we
of
were kind of all
seeking
over the
answers.
place. We didn't play very good, didn't call many good games early, and we're in a much better place, I think. As a group. So our guys will be. We're excited to start conference play and go on the road, and we're going to have to play well. This is I know Baylor played better today, so. We got to go down. It's a great learning. Our guys understand they didn't play worth a darn the first half, and they're starting to build pride and confidence and want to play consistent football. And we didn't have any consistency a year ago. We were up and down, quarter by quarter, game by game, and we just have to try to build on this and get a better week of preparation.
Great teaching tool for you today?
Oh. I don't know. I mean, shoot, you learn, every time you step on the field and, what you would have done differently through this preparation, playing an option team. Certainly there's some things, you learn, always. You should. Good?
Thanks, Mike.
Mike, thanks.
All right, man. Thank you.